Madam Mayor, we are live now.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I have a motion moved by Councillor Brunei and seconded by Councillor Njima. The council resume in open session. Madam Clerk, would you please call the vote?
Councillor Brunei,
Yes.
Councillor McPherson,
Yes.
Councillor Miklik,
Yes.
Councillor Pachariva,
Yes.
Councillor Reimer,
Yes.
Councillor Rajima,
Yes.
Councillor Russell,
Yes.
Councillor Timmers,
Yes.
and that carries.
And yes from me as well.
Madam Mayor, sorry. Thank you.
And I have a motion moved by Councillor Mikulik and seconded by Councillor Pachariva as it pertains to item 13.1. The council receive and file the presentation provided in closed session and that the CAO move forward as directed in closed session. Madam Clerk, would you call the vote?
Councillor Brunei,
Yes.
Councillor McPherson,
Yes.
Councillor Miklik,
Yes.
Councillor Pachariva,
Yes.
Councillor Reimer,
Yes.
Councillor Rajima,
Yes.
Councillor Russell,
Yes.
Councillor Timmers,
Yes.
Mayor Easton.
Support.
Thank you. That carries.
And as it pertains to item 13.2, that council receive and file the staff report provided in closed session and that staff move forward as directed in confidential report in closed session. Madam Clerk.
Councillor Brunei,
Yes.
Councillor McPherson,
Yes.
Councillor Miklik,
Yes.
Councillor Pachariva,
Yes.
Councillor Reimer,
Yes.
Councillor Rajima,
Yes.
Councillor Russell,
Yes.
Councillor Timmers,
Yes.
Mayor Easton,
Support.
and that carries.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Helinski, for joining us this evening. And I guess we'll see you. We'll see you for the next issue.
Thank you.
Very
Good
much.
evening.
Now, councillors, item 14 is the motion to approve bylaws. We have 8 bylaws for consideration today. I have declared a conflict of interest with respect to item 14.4, and I'll ask Deputy Mayor Reimer to take over for consideration of the bylaw, and we will divide that motion out from the rest as listed. We will deal with the rest and leave that one to last. Do members have any comments with the respect to the other bylaws? I see none. I have a motion moved by Councillor Timmers and seconded by Councillor Reimer that leave be given to approve the following bylaws. I'm just being cautious here. Okay. 2021-01, a bylaw to authorize the execution of a site plan agreement between the Corporation of the Town of Lincoln, 1254349 Ontario Limited, together with any and all mortgages that may be on title at the point of registration of the agreement. 2021-02, bylaw to declare blocks 120 and 121 on Plan 30M-420 as part of the common and public highway system under the jurisdiction of the Town of Lincoln as part of Gibson Street and Fairgrounds Road. 2021-03, bylaw to declare Lot 32, Plan 649, and Block 48, Plan 30M-269, as part of the common and public highway system under the jurisdiction of the Town of Lincoln as part of Cherry Heights Boulevard and Ashby Drive. 2021-05, bylaw to appoint a deputy chief building official for the Town of Lincoln and to repeal bylaw number 08-58. 2021-06, bylaw to provide for interim tax levies for the year 2021. 2021-07, bylaw to provide for borrowing for current expenditures. 2021-08, bylaw to authorize the appointment of a treasurer for the Town of Lincoln. I'll now ask the clerk to call out the vote. Madam Clerk?
Thank you. Councillor Brunei,
Yes.
Councillor McPherson,
Yes.
Councillor Miklik,
Yes.
Councillor Pachariva,
Yes.
Councillor Reimer,
Yes.
Councillor Rajima,
Yes.
Councillor Russell,
Yes.
Councillor Timmers,
Yes.
Mayor Easton,
Support.
and that carries.
Deputy Mayor, I'm leaving the room, and Madam Clerk will carry on.
Thank you.
I'll be back after.
Thank you, Mayor Easton. Do members have any comments with the respect to bylaw 2021-04, bylaw to authorize the execution of a heritage conservation easement agreement between the Corporation of the Town of Lincoln, Anthony Edward Easton, and Sandra Lynn Easton? Comments or questions? Seeing none, I have a motion moved by Councillor Brunet and seconded by Councillor Njima that leave be given to approve the following bylaw. 2021-04, bylaw to authorize the execution of a heritage conservation easement agreement between the Corporation of the Town of Lincoln, Anthony Edward Easton, and Sandra Lynn Easton. Julie, can you call it the vote, please?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Brunet,
Yes.
Councillor McPherson,
Yes.
Councillor Micklick,
Yes.
Councillor Pachariva,
Yes.
Councillor Reimer,
Yes.
Councillor Russell,
Yes.
Councillor Timmers,
yes,
Deputy Mayor.
You got me already.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's good.
And it carries.
I'm in favor.
Councillor Rajima.
Yeah.
So we got everybody?
We do. I'm just going to bring the
Awesome.
mayor back in.
Great.
Thanks. Madam Mayor, we can resume.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk, did you complete the vote?
We have.
Okay, thank you. We are now on item 15, a motion to confirm the proceedings of the council meeting. We will now confirm the proceedings of the special council meeting. I have a motion moved by Councillor McPherson and seconded by Councillor Russell that leave be given to introduce bylaw number 2021-09, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of special council at its meeting held Monday, January 18th, 2021, being read a first, second, and third time. The bylaw number 2021-09 be enacted and passed, and that the mayor and clerk sign and seal the said bylaw. Madam Clerk, would you please call the vote?
Councillor Brunet,
Yes.
Councillor McPherson,
Yes.
Councillor Micklick,
Yes.
Councillor Pachariva,
Yes.
Councillor Reimer,
Yes.
Councillor Rajima,
Yes.
Councillor Russell,
Yes.
Councillor Timmers,
yes,
Mayor Easton.
Support.
That carries.
Before we motion to adjourn the meeting, do members have any comments?
We have Councillor Reimer.
Go ahead, Councillor Reimer.
Thank you, Mayor Easton. I realize it's a late hour, but I am a little uncomfortable with how we left Councillor Pachariva's motion earlier this evening. I thought we had great discussion. We all explained our concerns and our experiences with all the issues involved, but it's not sitting right with me. Today is Blue Monday. It's also Martin Luther King Day. I can very much appreciate where Councillor Pachariva was going with this motion, so I wanted to revisit it. I believe council, like a lot of people believe, is the first step in resolving a problem is acknowledging it. This council, I don't believe, has shied away from that in the past. I think we've supported many initiatives on a wide array of issues along these lines. I'm not suggesting support as it was previously written, but rather I would suggest the following. Julie, do we need to reintroduce this, a motion first, or how do we proceed?
So this is an addition to the agenda for consideration. So we're going to need 2/3 vote in order for us to consider adding this. And then following that, should that pass, we will do a 2/3 vote to immediately consider the motion that you're putting forward. And then after that, we'll talk about the motion, and then we can move forward with the vote. Does that make sense for everybody? So to add to the agenda, just a show of hands and keep them up until I can see them, that we have 2/3 vote for consideration of this addition to the agenda.
Madam Clerk, I need a point of clarification.
Sure.
I see that Councillor McPherson's hand is up. There's a point of consideration. Is there no discussion about that once it's put on the table? And are there no other speakers allowed? I'm just clarifying.
No, so this is just to add it to the agenda. This is just to add it to the agenda as an item. And then once we do that, we can, Councillor Reimer has briefly spoken about it. We can add, it's 2/3 for immediate consideration.
Yes.
We will speak to it and everybody will have a chance to comment. This is just to
All
add
right.
it to the agenda right now, 2/3 vote.
I realize that. Okay. All right. I wasn't sure where Councillor McPherson was coming in, but I'm clear now.
Okay.
All
Madam
right.
Mayor-
Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Okay, so show of hands of 2/3, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 2/3, so we will carry on. So that has been added to the agenda. Councillor Reimer, for 2/3 immediate consideration upon introduction. So what we can do is that you have briefly opened it up. Did you want to introduce your motion?
Sure,
I can bring it up on the screen if helpful.
that would be great.
If you all can confirm that you can see that?
Yes, I can see it. Everyone good?
Yep, I can see it, Julie.
Okay,
That I would suggest the following, that the correspondence received from the City of Niagara Falls dated November 17th, 2020, and presentation provided by Mr. Seuss to Special Counsel for the Town of Lincoln on December 7th, 2020 be received, and that Council for the Town of Lincoln requests that Niagara Region recognize and acknowledge mental health as a regional crisis and support solutions to end homelessness and addiction, and that Lincoln staff present back to Council a report on potential local solutions and supports in collaboration with regional staff. Just to add to that, Julie, I believe this is an opportunity for us as a council to acknowledge there is physical, emotional, and actual trauma happening around these issues.
Thank you very much, Councillor Reimer. And Councillor McPherson, I'm assuming that your hand up is that you are the seconder. Is that correct?
Well, I happen to be the seconder, but my hand was up for another item completely different than this.
Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind.
But I will speak to it as a seconder, and what's important for me here is that we've taken out the call for an emergency, that we've taken that language out of the motion, and we've still addressed the report that we're expecting to see, and also that I believe at that time that we can take it, if we choose to, take the decision to ask that the region consider this an emergency at that time. So this, I think, addresses the urgency of the need, calls it a crisis, and we are taking that emergency call out of the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Councillor Brunet.
Yeah, very quickly, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to speak to, first of all, Councillor Patriva having the, having the fortitude to raise this, even though it was defeated. Quite honestly, as an aside, I've become very disenchanted over the last number of months that it seems we're spending so much time on councillor correspondence. And it just seems to me, I can't put a finger on it, but I really find that we've become followers rather than leaders. So I will be supporting this amended motion. I think this really takes out the emergency, as Councillor McPherson alluded to. It really is in essence continuing to deal with the stigma, and we're supporting this, but we're supporting it for the right reasons, and that's because Lincoln Council wants to make a difference, and we're not a follower, we're a leader. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Madam Clerk, I don't see any other hands, but you may be able to. I can only see a few people, a few councillors.
I have Councillor Miklick next.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Mikulik?
Thank you very much. I too like this motion better, the same reasons noted already. The only thing is it's a little bit different with the mental health, and it doesn't identify the homelessness and the third piece. I don't have the paperwork in front of me.
Addiction.
Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. No, I should read it closer then. Support solutions. Yeah. No, I like this one. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much. Madam
Sorry
Clerk,
about
anything further?
So right now, we've heard some comments for immediate consideration, 2/3 vote, hands held, please. Perfect. So if there's no other comments, can we do one more round just to double check? We do have a comment from Councillor Russell. No, you don't have a comment?
No. Okay,
And so we can go ahead with the vote if you like. And it's moved by Councillor Reimer, seconded by Councillor McPherson. And I can call the vote. Let me just,
go ahead.
thank you. Councillor Brunet,
Yes.
Councillor McPherson,
Yes.
Councillor Miklick,
Yes.
Councillor Pachariva,
Yes.
Councillor Reimer,
Yes.
Councillor Rajima,
Yes.
Councillor Russell,
Yes.
Councillor Timmers,
yes,
Mayor Easton,
Support.
and that carries.
Councillors, thank you very much for putting the energy behind this. This is a good motion, and certainly represents better where we're at the moment. We can make adjustments in the future if we need to. Thank you very much, Councillor Pachariva, for the effort that you put into it. It's a good motion. Okay. Is there anyone else that has any other comments? That's Councillor McPherson's hand up there now. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And just quickly, further to Councillor Rajima's notice of motion, and I think we all read the very passionate letter from one of our residents about debris around town, and in the response that Director McKay, our Director of Community Services, put out there, she made mention of town policy around single-use plastics. And going back pre-COVID, we did discuss that item, single-use plastics, and we also agreed that that a report would come forward to council with what that would look like around Lincoln, what the possible decisions would be made around single-use plastics, and what the potential financial impact would be, and understand that the COVID hit us shortly after that, and there's no doubt that brought our focus away from that particular item. But I'm just through you, Madam Mayor, wondering if there is now a report coming forward with the comments that Director McKay made in that email, is if there is a report planned on single-use plastics through you to the CAO.
Mr. Kirkopoulos.
Through you, Madam Mayor, there is actually a report coming forward. When that email went out by Director McKay, we actually spoke about it. Her Director Graham and I had a brief conversation this morning, but I'll let Shannon maybe speak to the timing for that. But definitely something that's still on our radar.
Ms. McKay?
Through you, Madam Mayor, to the councillor. We did just before COVID last year actually meet as an internal
We have,
stakeholder.
the volume is very, very sketchy.
Is that better?
Yes.
It appears to be. Go ahead.
We did just before COVID last year in January and February. We did have an internal stakeholder.
No.
And you're going in and out.
Okay, I'll try turning my video off and see if that helps.
We
No.
don't seem to have you at all, Shannon. Is it satisfactory,
I'm good.
Counselor?
Yes, I'm absolutely good with CAO's comments. That's fantastic. Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Thank
Sorry
you,
about
Shannon. Counselor Mikulik.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I wasn't sure if this was an announcement item or if it was a general comment item, but I just wanted to share a story. Like I attended the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce Business After 5 meeting chat, and there's over 125 participants, which they'd said was the most ever. And I thought it was easy jumping in. You know, I participated from home. No drive time, no, you know, and they had these breakout rooms. And, you know, it's throughout this pandemic, I've been personally hearing a lot of stories about the difficulties that businesses have been having. And I've been really feeling, you know, my heart's been really feeling for those businesses. But during these breakout rooms, I was also hearing businesses that were, you know, they got over that misery hump, and then they started focusing on coming up with solutions. And it was really refreshing to hear some positivity amongst business owners that, you know, wedding photographers, you name it, that have taken a real beating, but they're working together to come up with solutions. And I thought that it's incredibly important for folks to network and to share ideas on how they can improve the situation or circumstance that they're in. And I just thought I would share that story that, you know, folks are trying out there, and it's incredibly important to make that effort and continue that effort, because hope, you know, we will get through this. So it was just a story I was going to share.
I think that's a great story, Counselor.
Kudos to the economic development officers at all levels and those looking, you know, making that effort. So thank you.
That's great. We know we've got some pretty, we have some pretty energetic people locally that have been trying not once, not twice, but sometimes 3 times to find some of those really positive solutions. So thank you very much for that, Counselor. That's a good news story. Appreciate that. All right, Madam Clerk, we're now down to the
Councillor
motion.
Regina, you have your hand up.
I'm sorry?
Councillor Regina has her hand up.
Oh, I'm very sorry, Counselor.
Okay, I
Go
just
ahead,
put my hand
Counselor
up.
Regina.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My question is about the comprehensive zoning bylaw update. Do we have a projected date for that to come to council, or is there a public information session as the next step?
Kathleen, I think this is your baby.
Okay, So in response to the question, the consultants did do a draft, but there was some additional work that we as staff felt they needed to do. So we were anticipating trying to do an open house public meeting potentially in March.
Okay,
Okay, good to know it's on the horizon. Thank you.
that's very good. Councillors, I'm very sorry. I've had a great deal of difficulty tonight with this screen. It's been really jumping around. It's like having a bunch of rabbits on the screen. Where I thought you were, you weren't. I had to find every councillor almost every time there was a question asked. So my apologies for that. I have a motion moved by Councillor Timmers and seconded by Councillor Regina that special council on January 18th, 2021 be adjourned, and I have it at 22:28 hours. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Councillor Brunei,
Yes.
Councillor McPherson,
Yes.
Councillor Miklik,
Yes.
Councillor Pachariva.
Yes.
Councillor Reimer,
Yes.
Councillor Regina,
Yes.
Councillor Russell,
Yes.
Councillor Timmers,
Yes.
and Mayor Easton.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone. This concludes our special council meeting. I thank everybody for attending tonight and for everyone's exemplary participation. Reminder to stay safe, drive carefully. Meeting's adjourned.